Welcome to STEM at Home, a virtual STEM experience. I'm Mrs. Carey. This week's challenge, paper tower. You don't need safety boots, a yellow hard hat, or fancy tools to be an awesome engineer. You already have everything you need, your brain. So what is an engineer anyway? Well, an engineer is a problem solver that asks why and how things work. Engineers have lots of questions. By asking yourself engineering curious questions, you can create better things. Here are some questions to ask yourself as you build. Why am I creating this? How can I try making it a different way? What can I hear, smell, see, taste, and feel? How can I make this even better? Engineers use a special tool called the Engineer Design Model. The first step of the Engineer Design Model is to ask, what is the problem? What am I trying to solve? The second step is to imagine. When you imagine, you're brainstorming ideas. You're making lists, maybe you're gathering materials, thinking about the supplies that you have on hand. You want to be sure to jot down any ideas that are coming to your mind. The next step is to plan. When you plan, you put your best idea on paper. You might make a list of the supplies or draw a picture. This part is more specific than the imagine step. You might even make a list of all the steps that you'll take to solve the problem. After you have your plan in place, it's finally time to create. When you create, you make and test it. It's time to see if your plan really worked. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. The last step of the engineering design model is to improve. When we improve, we make it better. Did your plan work? If so, what steps can you take to improve your work? Engineers are always looking for ways to improve and make things better. If your plan didn't work, you may need to revisit the imagine stage and brainstorm more ideas. To review, the 5 steps of the engineering design model are to ask, imagine, plan, create, and improve. Now let's have some fun with our very first virtual STEM at-home challenge. Using the engineering design model and the planning sheet in this lesson, let's ask ourselves, how can we build a paper tower that will hold a stuffed animal? So the question has already been asked, how can we build a paper tower that will hold a stuffed animal? Now it's time for you to start imagining. What are the materials that you're going to need? Well, we're definitely going to need some paper. What kind of paper will we use? Check and see what kind of paper you have on hand. Maybe index cards, maybe notebook paper, that could be newspaper, construction paper. Feel free to try as many types as you like. You're probably going to need some tape to make sure that you can secure your tower. And finally, you'll need a stuffed animal to test your tower. To make this a little challenging, let's say that our tower needs to be taller than the stuffed animal it is supporting. All right, after you finish the imagine stage and you know the type of paper that you're going to be using, move on to the plan. This is where you're going to draw a picture and list the steps to make this happen. Once you're finished with your plan, it's time for you to make and test it in the create stage. And finally, after you've finished building it, decide how can you improve or make your tower better. That's the engineering way. Feel free to get help from home and have fun with this assignment.